welcome to the From the Finney podcast with me, Jake.
Me, Dan.
And me, Ollie. How we doing, lads?
Yeah, we're good. This week, we're coming to you a little bit earlier than usual as I'm away in the next few days, but we're going to discuss those Jordan Hugill rumours, links to other forwards, our own forwards, the latest pre-season announcement, and we'll go for take two of our as-yet unnamed feature. How are we, chaps? Are we good?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, not bad.
It's our first 9 o'clock start. It's almost like a work day, innit? But I'm sure we'll be all right.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of us are getting paid, but hey ho.
Fresh as a daisy. Fresh as a daisy, mate. This morning.
Oh, you've been up for about a million hours already.
Yeah.
Right, should we jump straight into this Jordan Hugill stuff?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what about him?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that when we ran a few polls on social media last week, it split fans pretty much right down the middle, apart from on Instagram, but there was a smaller amount of people voting, but Twitter was 50-50 and Facebook was 51-49 in favour of him coming back. So I think even though we're 100% in favour of him coming back, overall the fan base are quite split.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's 50% that know what they're talking about and 50% that don't, isn't it? That's quite strange.
To be honest, I thought it'd be 95% the other way, so I'm pleasantly surprised.
What, 95% against him coming back?
Yeah, when he was here last, I swear it felt like 90% of people didn't like him.
Yeah, it did.
Mm.
But
then there were the people, I mean, sort of like Brexit actually, who sort of waited for it to happen, sounded like they wanted it to happen, then realised they didn't know what they had.
Yeah,
that's a good.
It's also funny what a few couple of £1 million bids can do for people's opinions on a player as well. But yeah, I think if first things first, would you have him back? Like I said, I think we're all 100% in the we would have him return camp.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, I'd have him back. I'd have him back, and I'd get his name on the back of a PNE shirt.
Same.
But nah, 100% have him back. 100%. It's an absolute no-brainer, Jake, to get him back. Absolute no-brainer.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Obviously, the gaffer rates him. We know how highly he's spoken of him in the past. I think you mentioned the other day, actually, Ollie, that he referred to him as an animal, didn't he, before he left?
Yeah, not a donkey, though, but an actual animal, like a pig.
Yeah, and if some people online who, how would you say it, in the know, if a few of them are to be believed, then we went in for him on loan again last season, but obviously ended up going to Borough.
Yeah.
So I think that's a clear sign from the club and the manager that he's rated.
The thing is, when did he leave? 18 months ago now.
Yeah, about
that. 18 months, and we've not replaced him, and it's because he's mobile. He is quite fast. He's so strong, and he's just a nuisance. But he was on course for 15 goals, and you just can't really replace that. So the best way to replace him is to bring him back. And just...
I reckon he'd have got 20, that season he left.
How many was he on? Was he on 13?
He was on 13 overall, 10 in the league.
Yeah, we would have got 15 in the league, wouldn't he? Something like that. So
you'd fancy him to score at least 2 in another half season.
Yeah, if he comes back, I'd say I'd back him to get 15 again. And you can't really sniff at that, can you?
No, not at all.
I don't remember the last time we had a 20-goal a season striker. Nugent never did it.
Well, at this level, I literally have no idea.
Yeah,
Nugent never did it. I think the most Nugent got in one season was 17 or 18.
The only striker I remember scoring more than 20 in a season is Garner.
Yeah, Garner did it twice in League One.
Yeah,
but literally at this level, maybe.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I'm pretty sure I haven't either.
It's so rare, and even
Nugent's best was 14, I think. 14, 15, something like that.
I was looking the other day. It's actually lower than you probably think it was.
Yeah.
But even 10 goals at this level is quite rare, you know.
Yeah, well, Robinson.
You can't double figures is, and he doesn't just offer goals as well, does he? He's like, people don't realise, people like Jayden Stockley, and fair enough, he's good in the box and stuff, but He's just no mobility at all. Like, I'm not gonna say he's a tree, but he's a bit of a tree. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not going to say he's a tree, but he's a tree.
So, and yeah,
I think, like
you
you said before, Ollie, he's quite quick, isn't he? Like, a bit similar to Pearson. He's over a short distance, maybe sort of 10, 15 yards. He's got that little burst of pace.
he's an absolute brick shithouse, isn't he? He just knock anyone over. Like,
Yeah.
Well, he's rapid when he gets loose because he's one of those strikers who plays with his back to goal a lot of the time. So you don't really see his pace because he's very much not an off the shoulder type player.
Yeah.
But when he gets the ball and drives like Villa away when he scored that brilliant goal, it was a mixture of his pace and how strong he is.
The thing is, he doesn't really run behind, but the thing he does so well is he just runs in the channel so well. And now Alan Brown has to do that job now because the strikers can't do it. But Hugo, he can run the channels, he can drop in, he can pin the centre back, he can do literally everything that you want. Like, and he's perfect for Alex Neil, like Jake said. So I don't know what this 50% are thinking, but screw your head on, lads.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are quite. Well, I would say, in my opinion, are quite blinkered and have got the Jordan Hugill of the first sort of 2 seasons under Simon Grayson in their memory.
Yeah.
When he was a bit part player, he would play sort of most games in the League Cup.
Yeah.
And he'd maybe get 15, 20 minutes here and there as a sub in the league. And I think he was like 20, 21 at that time, 22.
Nah, he might have been like 23 or something. How is he now? 28? Is he 27, 28?
Yeah, he is actually, isn't he? He started.
Yeah, but he was playing non-league until he was like 21, 22, weren't he? So
yeah.
And the thing is, what's the point in looking back 5 years, 4 or 5 years now?
Well, he's a completely different player.
Yeah, he's a completely different player. So, and I think in his last 2.5 seasons at champ level, he's got 29 goals. So
not to be sniffed at.
Not at all.
Which
and people talk about experience and all this and that, and he's exactly the type of experienced player that people would want. If he'd never played for us, people would want him.
Yeah. If that's it. I think that's the other point, and
if he'd had the seasons he's had for us at a different club, moved to West Ham, then gone to Borough,
and then come in.
Yeah, if he was completely fresh, everyone would want him.
Yeah,
I just think there's also this. I'm no psychologist, but there's this desire of fans that don't want him to come back, who are just they want to be right, that they wanted to let him leave. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
they don't want to be proven wrong by him coming back and tearing it up.
I think we can all think of a few people like that.
Yeah.
Certain names.
Certain names who would drive him to Ipswich for £1 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to embarrass anyone on here. But people will say about last season, scored 6 goals. Did he? I think 6, 7 goals.
Yeah, I think it was 6, wasn't it? And 2 or 3 of them penalties.
Even that's not too bad considering how much football he played for them.
I'm prepared to. Nah, I'm just prepared to write.
They didn't use him that often.
To be fair, I think he started about 25, 30 games, but it means they played 5-3-2, 5 absolute giants at the back, 3 defensive centre mids, and a 90-yard gap between the 2 strikers. So I'm just going to write that off. It's a shame it didn't work out because obviously his home club.
Yeah.
But there was those people that when he joined were like, oh yeah, he'd suit Tony Pulis' style right down to a T, and he clearly didn't.
I don't know why people are saying that. Like, there's who suits Tony Pulis' style? Like, what is that? Like a dinosaur style? Like,
yeah.
As multi-talented as Hugill is, he's never gonna win a game by playing up top on his own.
Yeah,
having absolutely nothing to help him.
Yeah, I don't know.
He can't be expected to get onto his own knockdowns.
No. Though I'm sure he'd give it a good go.
Yeah, he'd definitely try, and he'd try with a smile on his face as well.
Yeah. No, I think the other thing to mention is that he does have like genuine quality as well in terms of his technical ability.
Surely not.
No, absolutely. I mean, I can't believe we see like the comments where people just call him a donkey and say that he's got no ability. Like we've had comments on Facebook posts from certain people saying he can't hit a barn door.
I think someone on Instagram referred to him as just a lump of muscle on the pitch.
God.
To be fair, I'd take that, me.
Yeah, it's better than being a lump of fat. That guy probably.
better than being a tree in it as well. So he's got quality though. Like Dan said, Villa away.
Yeah.
People forget the second goal.
Cardiff at home, Sunderland at home.
That Sunderland
Unreal
goal.
finish.
Oh my god.
Unreal goal.
Yeah, was it on his weaker foot or am I imagining that?
It was left-footed, yeah.
Yeah, left foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's just a few like good strikers finishes as well.
Yeah.
Just dotted about. So, and he does score a lot of goals, doesn't he? A lot of different type of goals.
Yeah.
So
I think the other thing.
I remember him scoring the same sort of goal several times. He just varies so much.
Yeah.
One of my favourite goals he scored for us, you might not remember it, was away at Brighton. Their keeper came out, sort of chased it down. He nipped it off his toe, stepped around him, and he still had a pretty difficult finish.
Yeah.
And he finished it.
My favourite is probably the second one at Villa Park, not the first one.
The header.
Yeah, the header. That was such a good header.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. It was a free header. Poor defender.
But he absolutely slid it in, didn't he, with his head? Like,
Yeah.
Some
the power he got on it.
Yeah.
Like that guy on Instagram said, just a lump of muscle.
Yeah. And then he's got finishes like, I think it was Sheffield United at home. It was a very forgettable game. I think it was 1-0. About the 85th minute.
Galley slid him through and he poked it under.
Yeah, poked it under.
Yeah.
He's got better stuff like that as well. So
yeah, the other thing that people seem to say quite a lot and bring up is, it needs 10 chances in a game to score one and all that sort of stuff. But
so by that account, he must have had 130 chances for us in half a season, which shows that he gets into good positions. So that's fine with me.
yeah.
So,
and if he has one freak season where he puts all of them away, then
he's going to score 130 fucking goals, isn't he?
Well, you understand my point. You know, if he
yeah.
improves that, he's only going to get better. Like the last half season that he was here, he was on course, in our opinion, for a 20-goal season or thereabouts.
Or at least in all competition, certainly.
Yeah, exactly. And if he was missing as many chances as other people say he was, then if he'd increased that by 10%.
Yeah. There's no doubt that he does miss chances, but who doesn't miss chances? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, people say like you say like the 1 in 10 stat. You say like he scores 1 in 10 of his chances, but how many of those are really chances that would usually get put away? Like I can't remember him missing too many absolute glaring chances.
There's two that stick in the mind. I think there was one against Burton. I can't remember the actual chance, and there was one against Wolves as well in the last minute.
Was that the Wolves game we lost 3-2?
No, I don't think. I think it was the season before. I think it was 0-0.
All right.
But it was a little one-on-one. Like, there's no denying that he does lack a bit of composure when he's got time to think about it.
Yeah.
But
the penalty away at Wigan being a prime example.
Yeah, he should not take a penalty. But if he had composure, then he'd literally have like everything, I think.
I remember I got absolutely slaughtered on Twitter after that Wigan game because I tried to divert attention away from people slagging Hugo off by saying it was a good save by the keeper.
It was straight down him. It was straight at him.
Didn't he screw the follow-up up as well?
Yeah. In fairness, I hadn't seen it.
I was right behind it. It was an absolute
I just tried to say it was a good save by the keeper. And people are like, fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that would have been nice if he'd scored that, but nah. Honestly, Jake and Dan, we're just being sensible. Like you can't turn down a player like that if we get the chance.
No, especially on loan.
And Alex
Neil, if they're offering to pay off his wages and we're not paying a fee for him for a year.
Yeah, I don't know how it'll work. Like, it might have to be a case of...
I've heard that they still owe us money, and then I've also heard that it's all been paid up front.
Well, if you look at the accounts, which I've had to do for this finance piece, we are still owed money.
Right.
100%. Well, we owe like £5 million by clubs. Doesn't specify which clubs.
But you'd imagine that some of that's from West Ham.
No one else is going to be paying that kind of money, really.
I think the other thing to mention...
Cardiff paid all up front for Cunningham, didn't they?
Well, even so, they wouldn't owe us anywhere near 5 mil, would they? So
no, I mean the fee was only 3.5. So
yeah, something like that. So I think West Ham probably do owe us money.
Yeah. And I think this will probably get a few people's backs up, but you can't question it. He is a £10 million player.
He absolutely is.
Because that's what West Ham paid for him.
That is what West Ham paid for him.
It was the going rate. English striker, fairly young. He was 25 when he signed for him, wasn't he?
Yeah, 20, 24, 25, something like that.
It's not worked out for him, but he's laughing at the bank, isn't he? So Good on you.
And if anyone says no, don't want someone back who doesn't want to be at this club, then I think just try and put yourself in a position where you've got the opportunity to go away and triple or even quadruple your yearly salary.
Honestly, it might not have even been
not going to turn it down.
Especially for a footballer who's not been earning footballer money, so to speak.
Yeah, I think was he on about $2.5 grand a week here?
I reckon he literally could have multiplied his wage by 8 overnight. Literally.
You're just not going to turn that down. No one in their right mind.
And a move to a Premier League club, you'd have to be an absolute dick
exactly.
to be that.
I think he only made 3 or 4 sub appearances, but at least he can say, "Look, I've played in the Premier League."
And he couldn't turn down his dreams of walking out in front of all the bubbles, could you? So. You've got to have a bit of sympathy with the boy.
That's another thing. Like, I know it's a personal thing and like not really a footballing reason for wanting him to come back, but he's fucking lovable, isn't he, Jordan?
Yeah, he is.
The thing is, when he's on the pitch, he gives nothing less than 100%. He absolutely runs himself into the ground every week.
Yeah.
So
he's responsible for one of my favourite moments of TV of all time as well. Cardiff away.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, when arse over tit over the advertising.
Yeah. I was quite pissed when I was watching that, but I do remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a resounding "come home, Jordan" from us, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, George.
I'd be
come into my arms,
George.
Come into my arms, George. Honestly,
I'd be quite happy to use this as a public play. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, if on the off chance you're listening to this, then come back.
And the last point I'd make, which I forgot about earlier, was that because he's obviously been here before, he knows the vast majority of the squad very well.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be a great deal of settling in time, so to speak. I don't think the way we've played has changed too much since he left either.
Say that again.
I said, imagine if we kept Robinson. We had Hugo Robinson up front, and then you have got either Barkhusen, Maguire, Harrop, Bowden. Like, that'd be a serious front line.
Hugo comes in. He's the final piece in a attacking jigsaw that will make us very strong next season if we can keep everyone fit.
And the last thing I'd say as well is, I think we saw the best of Maguire when he was playing just off Hugo on the left.
Yeah,
in his first season, yeah.
Completely agree.
So you get the best out of Maguire as well. It's just an absolute no-brainer, honestly. It just makes sense, doesn't it? And they say never go back, which obviously with Nugent, I'd just avoid Nugent. I wouldn't touch Nugent, but
I would have done 3 or 4 years ago, but now, I mean,
yeah, 3 or 4 years is a long time, isn't it, in footy? So
yeah, he's probably going to move down to League One, League Two now. I would think.
Is he 33, 34?
Yeah, it's getting on.
Yeah, he's getting on. I think we've been linked with quite a few other forwards as well over the last sort of 2-3 days, and the 2 that stand out are Andy Carroll. And I think all I can do with that is laugh.
Andy Carroll, where have we been linked with Andy Carroll?
Well, I say linked. It's social media rumours and people trying to.
Difference between linked and floated around, isn't it?
yeah. Let's stick that one firmly in the online rumours category.
Yeah.
In fact, probably both of them, to be honest, because the other one's James Wilson, and I've seen on Facebook in the Facebook groups people saying he's 100% going to be our first signing, blah blah blah. I just can't see it.
How disappointed would you be, honestly? I would be so disappointed.
I think that going back to Andy Carroll, wages would obviously be an issue. I don't think there's a question about whether it'd improve us, but he's just never going to come here. He must have been on 50-60 grand a week at West Ham.
Yeah. Is he out of contract or what? What's
yeah, he's a free agent. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why people have been linking him to us. Because I think people have got this thing in the mind that if someone's a free agent, they're going to be easy to sign.
Do you know what the cause of that is?
Football Manager, FIFA,
yeah, specifically,
Let me tell you what it is.
Pre-contract agreements on FIFA.
Yeah.
No, it's Yadar. When he's out of contract, Yadar says he's on £0 a week now, so he played for £1,000 a week. And that's just Yadar. If you're listening, that's just not how it works, mate.
Yeah.
So,
Yadar specifically.
Yeah.
If that describes you, listen up.
Yeah, I'm sure that describes you who's listening, but.
I think some fans just need to get a bit of a grip, though. Really, don't they? You know, we've not broken our transfer record in nearly 20 years, and that was on David Healy. So to think that we'd go out and blow our wage structure to bring someone
And
who's
again,
prone as Samuel L. Jackson in Glass. It's just not gonna happen.
the thing is, he's not even that much different to Stockley. Like, obviously, he's a better player, but in terms of,
He's a bigger tree, isn't he?
he's just a bigger tree, yeah. And he's
He's an oak. Stockley's more of an elm.
yeah. I don't really know much about trees, but
I
whichever.
don't, to be honest. I'll take your word for that, Dan.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it, Dan. But
I don't know
wouldn't-
either, to be honest.
I wouldn't even be excited if we signed Andy Carroll. I just wouldn't.
I'd probably, like if somebody said you can sign him for free, he'll be on 10 grand a week. I'll be like, yeah, all right.
Would you rather have Andy Carroll or Jordan Hugo?
Oh, Hugo.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, that.
Yeah, if it's one or the other, yeah, completely. But if it's not Hugo, then I would take Carroll.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think there's a question about whether it'd improve us, but I think most clubs will stay away from it because they won't want to take a chance on him with his injury record.
No.
Especially the amount of injuries we already get. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
we've got to be signing players, and that's the thing about Hugo as well. Just going back to Hugo, has he ever been injured? Like, he's
just gonna say that I don't recall him ever being out.
He's just
I can't think of him having like a long injury. He's had like knocks here and there.
Yeah, but you can pretty much.
They've all been impact.
You'll get 40 games out of him, wouldn't you? Touch wood. So you'll probably get 20 games out of Andy Carroll max.
If that.
If that, yeah. So I wouldn't touch him. Don't know where he'll end up, but I wouldn't touch him.
No, I wouldn't either. Absolutely not. And then the other one is James Wilson, who, again, I've seen it on Facebook. I don't know if people just spend time looking through like free player, out of contract player lists and just go, he was supposed to be good 5 years ago.
Yeah,
there's definitely certain types of people that, certain types of player that people are always linking us to.
Yeah.
Like you say, they just go through the free agents thing, see who's feasible, if you like.
Yeah, you've got that FIFA mentality almost, haven't they? Some people.
And then there's going back to Andy Carroll quickly. There's tendency to go back for players that have just played for us or have some sort of link to us. Like Carroll, because he had his month on loan here when he was 18 in 2007, 2008.
Yeah, something like that.
David Nugent obviously has been linked with us every transfer window for about 10 years.
Yep.
Cameron Jerome last year, not because he's played for us, but because of his links with Alex Neil. People thought he was going to come in.
Like you said, it's just a bit unimaginative, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, like you say, complete lack of imagination.
The thing is about James Wilson as well. If he'd never played for Man United, you'd be so annoyed if we signed him. I think
I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole anyway. To be honest, he scored 6 goals in 30 appearances in Scotland last year.
Yeah,
and that is dreadful.
I mean, how old is he? He must be like nearly mid-20s.
He's 24.
Yeah, and he's just never really done anything.
No, he's 23. He's my age. Sorry, I remember seeing it last night.
Yeah, there's still hope for you then, Dan. But he's just never done. He's just never done anything. So I don't know what kind of striker he is either. Like, I don't know what he is. He doesn't have pace, does he?
No, not particularly.
So
I compared him. Was it on the? No, it wasn't on the pod last week. It was on the group chat, wasn't it? I compared him to Connor Salmon, the guy that started off at Wigan, the big bald guy.
Yeah.
Just one of them strikers that never seems to score.
I bet he's got a good leap on him though. Oh shit! Edit that out right now.
Full well that's staying in.
I'd rather have Connor Salmon than me. But yeah, he's failed at Aberdeen. I think he's had a loan at Derby, has he? At Brighton. Never done anything for United, so
never done anything anyway. Really,
he had loans at Derby and Sheffield United where he played like 5-6 games and didn't really do it. And he scored 1 goal for Derby.
The thing about Sheffield United worries me as well because obviously was that last season or the season before?
It was while they were in League One.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I was going to say Chris Wilder doesn't take any shit, does he? So
no.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. If he's gone to Sheffield United in League One and he's struggled to do anything there as well, then
struggled to break into the team. I think a lot of people would struggle to break past Billy Sharp.
Yeah, true, but
especially in League One, Jesus. The fact they had him in League One was just a cheat code, really.
Well, yeah, a bit like us with Beckford.
Yeah.
But James Wilson, if he's this young kid full of potential on loan at a League One side, and and he's not doing anything there. He's not really had any game time since then to sort of develop himself and further himself. What good is he possibly going to bring?
Well, like I say, he played the majority of games for Aberdeen last year, but he's scored 6 goals.
Well, that's isn't he always injured?
And he's a finisher. He's not a creator.
Did they not have a lad last season, Cosgrove, who scored like 18 goals?
Who, Aberdeen?
Yeah.
I don't follow Scottish football, to be
Yeah, I
honest.
think they got a lad called Sam Cosgrove who scored 18, 19 goals. If we were linked with him, you'd probably get some people who were disappointed. But if we were linked with James Wilson, people would probably take him.
Because of his background with United.
Yeah, probably.
It's literally all it is, isn't it?
So if you just remove that, then it's like Liam Grimshaw came from United, didn't he? And he's now a thug in Motherwell, isn't he, or something? So
absolute garbage to you.
Walks around in his Stony Island.
Hey, my favourite memory of Liam Grimshaw is away at Aki Stanley in the Cup last season. He picked up the ball on the halfway line, put his head down, ran forward, and just ran the ball off the pitch without looking up.
Funny guy. Funny guy.
Just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I remember his unofficial debut at Brig a couple of weeks after he signed for us. He just started trying to have a fight with Brig players.
Yeah, he's from Burnley, isn't he, after all? So, but yeah, in terms of actual forwards, obviously, I don't know. They're probably just not genuine links, but I don't know who we actually have been linked with apart from Hugo, who might be genuine.
Yeah, it's been a bit quiet, hasn't it?
It's been so quiet now. So we'll just have to see. But times, obviously, you'd want your striker in for pre-season, or you want any player in for pre-season, but don't know. There's only 2 weeks, I think, till the start of pre-season now.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, isn't it?
Well, speaking of signing for next week's pod, there is Patrick Bauer. People have been talking about.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we could see him being the first signing that we make this summer. And like you said, we'd have something then to talk about next week and an actual signing for once.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'd be quite happy. I think there's been links with Rovers and a few other clubs in the Championship. So, yeah.
I've heard Rovers specifically. We've had to pretty much beat them off with a stick.
Yeah, and it's looking positive at the moment. Which, like I said, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we can get him in through the door. I think he'd bring a bit of competition to the back line. I think whether that spells the end for Hunts or Clark, I'm not sure. I think Hunts has still got 2 years left on his deal. Clark, similar. But I think Clark offers versatility. He can play at right back. He can play at centre back. But what it absolutely does do is gives a bit of breathing space for Jordan Storey, who has just completed his first season at this level. Looked immense at times, but
was flagging a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, he looked a bit shaky, didn't he?
And you think Bauer would be, if not his direct competition, then certainly his cover.
Yeah, and he would also allow us to play through it at the back, I think.
Yeah, but Ben Davies is capable of playing. I'd say he's probably very well suited to playing left side of the three because he steps into midfield quite well. Good distribution.
He progresses with the ball quite well from the back, doesn't he?
And from what I've read about Bauer, I haven't seen too much of him, but he's supposed to be all right at that as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and he'd bring a bit of genuine height. Which when
6'3".
that, 6'3", 6'4", and if you pair that with a 6'5", 6'6" keeper behind him, then I think having some genuine height in the side,
something we've not had for a couple of years, really, apart from Hunts. I think with Bauer looking like he's going to become this first signing, we've left it a little bit late. Well, quite a bit later than last year. Really, we'd got all our business done by this time last year.
I don't know. Maybe it's taken longer now because we're kind of shopping in like a different price range.
Market.
Yeah. So maybe players have got more options.
Well, I think Millwall bid 2 or 2.5 million for Jamal Lowe at Portsmouth yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, they're the kind of fees now that are just normal. Like, they're just simply, they are just average fees at this level now.
And I think that's again, I don't want to get onto the Hemmings chat because we've covered it before. But if if we are serious about the top 6, it's stuff like that we just have to start moving with the times as a club.
Yeah.
And you'll get people going, oh, well, he puts £5 million in a year. And what do you do? Well, I buy my season ticket every year. I contribute in the way that I can.
You probably contribute more of your yearly
Yeah.
earnings than Hemmings does.
Yeah, I'm not going to bash Hemmings, obviously, but
No, exactly. That's
them
not
fees,
my point with it.
yeah, them fees literally are just normal now. And especially if you want to get in the top 6, you can't just be signing prospects and
No.
Scottish strikers, and you've just got to sign proper players. Like Brad Potts, maybe he was like around £1 million, and he's come in and he just made an impact straight away.
Which is what you need.
Which is what you need. And I don't think we lost a game that he played in, you know.
And then we signed Rafferty, who only played when we had nothing to play for. Ginelli, who we only played when he had nothing to play for. And he's been linked with moves out on loan. So.
And then obviously Stockley, who barely started a game.
100%. Should we call that part 1, boys?
Yeah.
That's part 1. Sound.
Good chat. Good chat.
Decent. Back to part 2 of the From the Finney podcast. In the second half, we're going to be talking about our current strikers and Southampton in pre-season before we head off to the new game that went okay last week, I think, didn't it, lads?
Yeah, it was alright.
It was shit.
Mixed feedback.
I actually haven't had any feedback on it at all.
Have you not?
I enjoyed it. I think once
I
it
enjoyed it, yeah.
it'll be nice, yeah.
But like people have said things about the pod in general to me, but no one specifically said anything about the game. But fuck them, keep it in.
Nice one.
Yeah. So jumping into our forwards,
Sean Maguire. Let's start off with.
Yeah, he's the obvious place to start. I really like him. He seems like a great lad off the pitch. Obviously, we know what he's all about on the pitch, but I think it's safe to say that he's had just shit luck with injuries.
Yeah, I do like him as well, but I'm just worried now that the main thing about Sean Maguire was when he first came, was so explosive.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when did he come back? Was it around December, Jan?
After the first one, yeah.
What, this season?
Yeah.
Oh, it was about. He came back before Robinson was out.
His first game back was Wigan home, wasn't it?
Was it? So like November time-ish?
Yeah.
So he's obviously had a decent spell. Obviously had a little knock as well, but he's had a decent spell there. But it either looks to me like he's playing within himself, or he's just lost that burst of pace, which is not surprising if he has. But without that, he's a completely different player. So I do really like him.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question about his ability. We saw that in his first season, like you mentioned before, Ellie. The way that he played off the left, up alongside Jordan Hugill.
Yeah.
I think he scored 10 goals that first season.
Scored 10 and he only played about 20.
Yeah, and then, like you said, with that burst of pace, I think going into last season, people were sort of quietly optimistic.
I'm not even.
I think there was
I'm not even sure like pace is the right word. I don't know what it is. It's like he can just go past a player and then get a shot off. It's not. It's just like his feet are just so quick.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the Cardiff goal? 3-0 against Cardiff. Do you remember his goal?
Yeah.
Yes.
He literally just breeze past a player, create a bit of space, and just get a shot off. Like he always hits a target as well. But
the other one similar to that was the one at home against Bristol City.
Yeah.
When we won 2-1, they equalised, and then about 5 minutes later, DJ played a ball over the top.
Yeah,
and
he absolutely did the defender, didn't he? And
he just ghosted past him.
Did he do a chop, or was it just a sort of turn?
It was a little kind of like fake shot, and then slotted it in. But
it was a nice goal, though.
Yeah, it was. He's done like the one against Millwall this last season, where he just dinked it over the keeper, and then
great finish. What a ball by Galley, though.
Yeah, that was a nice goal. But I don't
know.
Shout
out to Paul Gallagher.
Yeah, shout out to Galley. Was it 4 years today since we signed him permanent?
Yeah. contributed to a goal, I think, every 2.9 games.
Yeah,
Decent.
absolute
His
club
time
legend.
here. Club legend.
Club legend, yeah. But yeah, what do you think, Dan, about Maguire?
It's hard to like really let go of a player who we know is that good, but at the same time, thinking about it completely analytically is that he's. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say he's damaged goods, but
Nah, I don't think so.
it's hard to imagine a season that we're going to get out of him without him being out for at least 2 or 3 months of it.
Yeah, I think damaged goods is harsh, but I don't think we'd be remiss to say that he's potentially heading that way as well.
I think it's a big season, isn't it, next season?
Yeah, this
Absolutely
season's
massive.
a massive one for him, isn't it?
He's definitely worth keeping hold of and see how he goes. But
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, his hamstring seemed to have been all right. Like,
Well, they've
So-
dropped a day of his training, haven't they? I
yeah,
think he
they've
doesn't
just
train
might,
Mondays
might
now.
just might just be a case of just
Managing
managing
him.
through the weeks. Yeah, but then you might just lose someone on the pitch. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to see. Like, he obviously knows how to score a goal.
mm,
Well, I
he's
think
just-
if we keep hold of Robinson and Hugo comes back in,
you can genuinely. I think the thing is, we need to actually be able to rotate him.
that was what I was going to suggest, was that his game time is probably, he's not going to be relied on as much as he was, because there was times towards the end of last season where he looked knackered, like despite having like 2 months out with an injury, 3 months out with an injury. There was points toward the end of the season where he just looked like he was blowing out of his arse after 20 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah, that just goes down to the depth thing again. So no point going over old ground. But yeah.
Oh yeah. So Jaden Stockley is he's a weird. I think he's looked okay in the games that I've seen him play, but he's an odd one in that people just seem to absolutely love him, and I don't think he's come in and set the world on fire while he's been here.
see, I'm one of those people. Like you say, he's not the most technically incredible player, but there's just something about him that I like.
I don't want to be.
I get that, but I don't. What I don't get is the people that are saying that the sun shines out of his arse.
Yeah.
But he does have a very good goals to minutes ratio for us.
He does. He
I
does.
don't think he does at the minute. You know,
No, he does.
I had a look last night, and it's not that good. It was earlier in the season.
Is it not like 1 in 2, 1 in 3? But the thing is, those kind of stats don't really matter, because if you're coming on the last 20, there's a more chance you're scoring a goal anyway. So I'm not going to get too tactical, but people say he's a target man, but I don't really think he is. Like, there's a difference between lumping up from your own half, holding it up, getting bodies around him, pinning the centre back, and then there's a difference between that and getting the ball in the box and actual scoring goals. Like,
yeah,
if you give him service in the box, like, who was it against? He scored that header.
Chef Wednesday.
Yeah, like, if you get him crossed into the box, he's probably going to be quite effective. But outside the box, he's just. I'm not going to say he's a tree, but he just doesn't move. Like, do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, the first game he played, he looked quite mobile, and I thought, maybe there's something here. But as the games have gone on,
Nah, what were you watching, Jay?
He's looked less. Nah, he got about the pitch quite well, I thought, in the first game.
Yeah, he puts himself about, doesn't he? But he is slow. He is very slow, and I don't think that particularly suits what Bill wants.
He makes running look difficult, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's obviously a good finisher, no doubt about that. So
no, and I think there's a chap that we follow on Twitter. I think I'm saying this right. He's called Ram Srinivas.
Yeah, shout out to Ram. Yeah,
shout out to Ram. I think his art is at Ramses or something on Twitter. But yeah, he tweeted a graphic last Friday, I think it was, that showed how well-rounded Stockley is, and his conversion of shots on target that end up as goals, both at Exeter and here, is over 90%. So he's obviously, like you said, Ollie, he's
good finisher.
In and around the box, he's a good finisher, yeah.
He might be more suited to a 4-4-2, but obviously it's never going to happen.
No, it's just Neil's played that system like 3-4 times in his time here.
Yeah, but he plays like he plays like a narrow 4-4-2, like not with wingers who get crosses in, but He's definitely obviously I keep him around everything and give him. He'll suit some games, obviously, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him to lead the line for sort of 40 games.
No.
Unless we completely change the way we play, but
I
it's
can't
just
see
not
that
going to
happening,
happen. No, it's not going to happen.
We need sort of out and out wingers really to really make the most of him.
Yeah, definitely.
We tend to play more with sort of
Like wide
inside forward types. Yeah.
But no, he's worth. I'd be quite confident that he gets to double figures next season.
Yeah, I think he'll bag sort of 10, 11 goals maybe. Like you said, I just wouldn't feel confident if he was leading the line for.
Yeah, I know Neil obviously feels the same though, because how many games?
I think he's a great option off the bench.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How many games did he start last season? Maybe 5.
Yeah, it wasn't many, was it?
But didn't we only sign him in January?
Yeah, but probably 20 games when he came in. Maybe he started 5. So
he's
not
exactly the same player as Hugo either. So I think for those that saying we don't need Hugo, we've got Stockley.
Yeah, I mean,
different players.
You need to wake up a little bit and smell the roses because they're completely different.
Having a bit of height doesn't make you the exact same type of striker.
No.
Yeah, Hugo's just a different animal.
Completely different. And finally, in terms of our strikers, Louis Malt.
Community Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Got to be good at Summit again. Good community player, and I don't doubt he's an absolute top fella. Obviously, everything that's happened to him, but you can't tell me he's made any sort of impact.
No. He's not changed anything.
Definitely not. And I think we've mentioned it in the past again, but if we're serious about the top 6, he's not what we need. We need much better. And I feel awful for saying this because I feel like I'm absolutely slagging the guy off, and I imagine that he's a really nice bloke, family guy, really good off the pitch, good around the squad, but like you just said about,
I've got absolutely no problem with him. Like you say, I just think he's neither one thing nor another. He's not like a
He's a bit like
I hate the term fox in the box, but he's not like one of them. He's not a target man. He's not very good in the air.
fox in the box.
I absolutely hate that term.
I've not heard that for years.
Tell you what, my dad always uses that word when we talk about signing any type of striker. He says, "Well, what we need
is a fox in the box."
Yeah, and do you know the example he always uses? Michael Chopra.
Michael.
Well, your dad's living in the fucking past then. Jesus.
Yeah. No, but I don't mean like he's saying he's just saying like the sort of player that he was.
Yeah.
But I mean,
the thing is with Malt, like he gets into decent areas like on the occasion, but most of the time he's outside the box trying to make things happen, but he's not good enough to do that.
No,
his
touch is awful.
I think it's just a case of him again not fitting Neil's system.
Yeah, but then why has he signed him? Like,
people say that he was signed by Neil, but I'm not right sure he was. Yeah, I'm sure it was Grayson.
I think we were looking at him under Grayson. Then Grayson left, but it pretty much already a done deal anyway, and Ridsdale brought him in.
Oh, was he injured at the time as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. He just has no like. You need obviously. Stockley lacks a bit of pace and that mobility, but you know what he is, don't you? Like Malt doesn't have really. Yeah, Malt doesn't really have anything like that, does he? So
he doesn't have any standout attributes, really, does he?
Well, it's great in the community.
I think as well he has he has shown at times that he can be a bit of a poacher in the box. But it's few and far between.
Springs to mind.
Yeah. Obviously, the Hull
really away game. Goal.
For me, it was the Hull away goal was really good for me. That was that's what he's good at. But you can't just rely on like a little moment like that every 3 or 4 games.
No, it's not
you need so much more. You need so much more. And then if you compare it to Hugo, they're just again completely different animals.
Well, the 3 goals that we mentioned before, Hugo away at Villa, home against Cardiff, and Sunderland. Louis Malt's done nothing like that.
No.
There's no standout goals where you thought, "Fuck me, that was a quality goal," in terms of his technique or anything like that.
Yeah, maybe just one of them. Do you know? He's a bit like Owen Doyle, I think. For me, he reminds me a bit of Owen Doyle.
You're gonna get some shit for that, mate.
Well, I don't care, but
But
maybe
again,
just leave
again,
one side.
I used to quite like Owen Doyle, to be honest.
Oh damn.
Like again, I didn't think he set the world alight, but again, he just seemed to pop up with important goals at important times.
I think it's just
hard not to like someone who does that.
I think that it just kind of sums up our recruitment, really. Obviously, we could have got Kiefer Moore last year. I don't know how much it would have been. Maybe 2-3 mil, which would have obviously broken our record.
Yeah.
But then you sign
What's the
players.
deal? What's the deal with him now? Is he just?
Well, Barnsley have gone up, haven't they? So.
Oh yeah.
Probably sticking around more.
And then they're probably going to be asking for 5 mil, something like that. So there's an absolute zero chance. But you just need to push the boat out a bit, or unless you pick someone like Sean Maguire up. But if you just searching around, you're going to end up with just SPL strikers.
Yeah.
And we just can't keep doing that. So it's false economy.
Yeah. If as a club keep saying if we are serious about the top 6, then something has to change.
So yeah, how many strikers do we need? 1 or 2?
This window.
Yeah.
If we're not keeping Mole,
because I've got a feeling.
I'd say if Mole's going out, I think minimum you want is 4 strikers on books.
Yeah, and especially with the Robinson.
I don't know. I think four's too many for the system that Neil plays.
Maybe 3 actual number 9s, and then you've got obviously Robinson who's obviously Neil likes up front. So maybe if you had Maguire, Stockley, if Robinson stayed, and then you bring another in, and then get Malt out.
Part of me feels like though it might be a case of 1 out, 1 in to an extent this summer as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Which could be another reason why things are very quiet.
I just can't see Malt staying.
I can't see him wanting to stay. I'd imagine he wants football.
Probably quite frustrated.
Yeah.
Well, he was linked with Luton, wasn't he, in January? Obviously, they've come up, so
could be a good move for him. To be fair,
it'd be a good way for him to stay in the Championship, certainly.
Yeah, definitely. Probably be a good move for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had one of the 2 Premier League games pre-season announced this week as well, which is at home against Southampton.
Quite happy with that.
Yeah, I think we're all quite pleased. It's an odd one.
Yeah. A lot of people have said it's an odd one, but like it's.
Well, it's just it's difficult to imagine them wanting to come that far, that close to the start of the season.
If you look at who's in the country, I think there's only 5 Premier League teams in the country.
I was in like the rest of them are out on camps and stuff.
Yeah. So I think there was Watford.
Yeah, the rest of them.
I think there was Watford, Everton, Southampton, Burnley, and Bournemouth. Everyone else is literally out of the country. So obviously, I don't know why they've chosen Southampton or Southampton have agreed, but it'd be a good game. Be quite a high intensity game. Obviously, the way they play. So I'll probably go down to that and see what's happening.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go and watch as well.
Yeah, it's the day after I finish placement here, so and day after my birthday, of course. So
big day out.
Yeah,
do it.
Make a day of it.
Yeah, when is that the Saturday then? And then there's another game.
It's Saturday 20th. Yeah,
it's going to be another game on the
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one that's not been announced yet, or is that like Fleetwood or somebody?
No, that's not been announced yet. I don't think.
Right.
But I hope it's like
well, at least we'll have something to talk about in next week's pod.
Yeah, well, announcing fucking Burnley in pre-season. I want to see Dwight McNeil anyway, so I'll be quite happy with that. But it's bizarre.
Didn't he score against us last pre-season?
Yeah, I was going to say he played in the one last pre-season, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did.
He scored a banger.
Good player. But the whole, I'm not going back over it again, but it's just bizarre, like the whole pre-season thing.
Yeah, it just seems very unorganised, doesn't it?
I mean, we've not finished announcing our pre-season fixtures yet, and the Premier League fixtures have already come out.
Yeah. Well, ours will be out on Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, will they?
Yeah. Apparently, we're going to be away for the first game.
Well, we've been at home last few seasons, haven't we?
Apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently our fixtures kind of mirror Burnley's. So when we're at home, they're at home. And when they're away, we're away.
Really?
Someone was telling me, because when Burnley are at home, Blackburn have to be away. So then we can't play at home the same day as Blackburn.
All right.
So we kind of mirror Burnley's fixtures.
Is
and
that for like police resources?
must
Probably,
be.
yeah.
So obviously their season starts a week later than us, and I think they're at home for the first game. So we'll be away for like our first game if it works like that. So
Interesting.
yeah, as long as we don't get Reading away in the first game again, then I'm not bothered really.
Imagine.
God.
But yeah, I think we've been lucky. I think like literally 8 of the last 10 first games have been at home.
Yeah, there's been quite a few, haven't
Yeah,
there?
they have been recently. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. And I think have we won the last? We beat QPR and then we beat Sheffield Wednesday, didn't we?
And we
Yeah.
drew with Borough the season before that.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh no,
Nil.
Reading was the season before that, weren't it?
Yeah,
I went,
sorry,
and then
Borough was the first season back up. We
Yeah.
drew 0-0
It was on Sky Sports, I think.
because they got relegated, didn't they, that season?
Yeah.
It was the first season back down in the Prem.
I've got a feeling we'll get Luton away.
Well, yeah, at some point in the season we will.
First game, which will be quite a tough game, but we'll have to see on Thursday anyway. Which means it's getting quite close already, so quite excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's.
It doesn't feel like the season's been off for very long, does it?
Well, there's been football on for literally it's not finished.
But yeah, it's 3 weeks yesterday. Pre-season starts. First game against Brig. Well, pre-season doesn't start for the players, but for us fans, it does. So
I think some of the boys still on holiday, aren't they? Robinson's on holiday with Jack Grealish at the minute. So
yeah, and Maguire will be away as well, won't he? After his island exploits.
They've been away for ages. They've been away for 3 weeks, I think.
With the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Long end of season, do that, innit? Really.
You need to let your hair down after a tough season of football, don't you? Like Jack Hickman.
I was just gonna say, but just don't put any stupid videos on your social media.
I think it's a bit late with that with Brad Potts anyway.
True. Well, that was.
But at least he didn't make a twat of himself. He just sort of having a good time.
Yeah.
Right. Should we crack on with round 2, boys?
Indeed.
Yes.
We really need to get a jingle for this, like just to introduce it. Right, so I'll just run over the rules again. It's one guess per clue. You have to say stop. You can't just shout out your guess.
Okay.
So the running order for it from here on in is that one of us will do one a week.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't potentially have like the same player.
Yeah. So whose turn is it this week?
So I'll start this week, seeing as I started last week and we all did one. So if you're ready, we'll crack on.
Yeah,
Clue number 1. I was born in York on the 5th of May, 1982.
So he's 37?
Yeah.
I'm sober this week. No idea.
No, Dan?
No idea, mate.
Alright, clue number 2. I am a striker.
Stop. No. Yeah, stop.
Go on.
Richard Queswell.
Nope.
He's Sheffield, isn't he?
Damn. No idea.
Stop.
Go on.
The Beast?
Nope.
Barnsley. He's from Barnsley.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Clue number 3. I first played football for Beagle Boys in York before they changed their name to York RI.
No idea.
Nah.
No. Next clue. I probably started my career in football in 1999 when I moved to Poland after turning down an offer to play for Doncaster Rovers.
What?
Poland?
Fair play to the guy, but I've got no idea who he is.
All right. Next one. I never played a professional game in Poland as I was a youth player for LKS Lodz or Łódź. However you say it. LODZ.
I'm so confused. Don't have a clue.
No, next one. My mother is Polish and my father is English.
Mother is Polish. Nah.
I hope these clues are going to get a little bit nicer. I've absolutely no idea.
I returned to England in 2001 when I signed for Preston North End.
2001. Striker. Oh shit. Nah.
Oh, stop.
Go on.
Is it George Koumantarakis?
Nope.
I swear he sounds Greek, not fucking Polish.
But
Oh no, he's South African, isn't
Is he? Oh my
he?
god.
is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was Greek as well.
South African.
No guess, Ollie.
No, no idea.
All right, next clue. I didn't have the best time at Preston. I only made 25 appearances in 3 years, scoring 5 goals.
Right, let's just bear in mind I was 3 years old at the time.
Oh, stop.
Go on.
Is it Pavel Abbott?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Do you know who that is, Ollie?
I've heard of his name, but like,
Yeah, maybe I need to bear that in mind in future then.
It's just the Pavel dawned on me. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
when you said George Koumantarakis, I was going to say you're along similar lines with an English and a foreign sounding name.
Yeah.
Like Pavel being foreign and Abbott being probably quite English. Yeah, Pavel Abbott.
Yeah.
nice one, Pavel, whoever you are. What's he doing now? What's he up to?
He's still playing. Plays in Poland.
Oh, what lad.
Don't
Getting
know
on a
who
bit.
for, but
Nice
yeah,
one.
he's still playing.
Do you remember what was he like? What did he look like? Literally, I have no idea.
Dark hair.
I don't remember. It was before my time.
He was all right, to be fair. I quite liked him, but again, I was only like 9, 10.
I was 3, so I can't really say I remember much about him. Well, nice one.
You sound really disappointed with that, Ollie.
So before we started, Ollie was like, "Yeah, nailing this."
No, I'm not. I'm not disappointed. I just feel a bit cheated that I was 3 years old, lads. Come on.
Excuse me, Mr. Rob Edwards.
yeah. Why do I remember Rob Edwards, but not whoever this lad is?
Because he only played 25 games in 3 years.
I've got a good one anyway for when it's my turn. So.
Are we definitely leaving it to 1 week then?
For that. Yeah, I think so. All right, cool. Thanks for listening to episode 4 of the From the Finney podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget that you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I don't know if you get notifications when we update. I think you do on Apple. I'm not sure on Spotify. But yeah, give us a sub and a review on Apple. That'd be massively appreciated. You can keep in touch with us on social media as well and keep up to date with all the new content that we're publishing on the website. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just search for From the Finney and you'll find us.
Yeah, should have a new piece this week as well.
Yeah, a finance piece.
Yeah,
and got a piece out about Callum Robinson as well, so check that out. So yeah, cheers, boys. Thanks for another pod in the bag.
Thanks, lads.
Have a good Sunday.
Really good one.
Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day again to all the dads.
Nice one.
See you in a bit, boys.
See ya.
See you guys.